Here I go, here I go, here I go. Yeah, here I go, here I go.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode of the Take Podcast. I'm your host, Jackson Burleson, of course. And in today's episode, me and Skyler are back on the pod. I appreciate you hopping on once again, dude. We had to do something for this crazy NFL playoffs that already started. So most of our picks were wrong. So we're going to come on here and say we missed a couple games. We got the Texans game right. What was the other game we got right?
You got the Texans right. I got we both got the Bills right. I got the Chiefs
Did you get the
right.
Lions one right,
Yeah,
too?
I got the Lions one right. I got the Chiefs right. You got that wrong. I got the Lions one right. So I'm 2-1, and I'm pretty sure you're 1-2.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's doing better than me. But one prediction we definitely both got wrong was my Dallas Cowboys, which I'm going to get into this right now because I'm not beating around the bush. There's no excuses. This is the biggest playoff defeat and the biggest failure of expectations in Cowboys history in the playoffs. There's nothing I could say at all. This is disgraceful. It's just disgraceful. Tony Romo and Dak Prescott have 4 combined playoff wins, which is as many as Nick Foles has. Are we kidding? Are we on the same planet right now? And Dak Prescott is still the starting quarterback next year? No, absolutely not. He needs to get out of Dallas. We need to trade him, cut him, do whatever we need to do to get him not to be the quarterback next year. Because I'm telling you guys right now, if he is the quarterback next year, I'm not watching. I'm not watching the Cowboys. I'm not watching a single game. So people can hit me up and be like, hey, he did this, he did this. Don't care. Don't care. What's his postseason record? He's only won 2 games. That's it. 2 games. And then our defense is leaving people wide open. Wide open. Man coverage, not even guarding the man? You're joking, right? Was it that tight end who was wide open in the Packers? Jordan Love is in practice throwing to no defense at that point. We might as well have not even put our defense out there. And Dan Quinn needs to be fired. And Mike McCarthy needs to be fired. It's getting out of hand. I don't know what we're going to do, but we need to get Bill Belichick because he is the only answer to fix all of this. This would have never happened under Bill Belichick. We wouldn't have lost this way. We might have lost a close game. I'm not saying we would have gotten blown out, though. It's a disgrace. We haven't lost at home in 2 years, and then we lose to Jordan Love. We lose to Jordan Love, who's making his first career postseason start. And he's already halfway there on postseason wins to Dak. He needs one more to tie him. And Dak's been in the league for 8-9 years now. I mean, come on. No one can say Dak Prescott's a good quarterback. He's inaccurate, number one. Multiple times, him and CeeDee Lamb were getting into it. And Dak looked upset with CeeDee Lamb, which, how can you be upset at a receiver who broke the single-season franchise record in yards, and you're throwing the ball behind him in a slant? And why are we putting him in slants? Run a deep post. Put him on a deep post. We clearly don't trust Dak Prescott. And that entire arena, I don't know if you watched that game.
I did.
Which you did. And you heard the fans. They sounded nervous, just like me. The whole time. There was no loud cheering when Jordan Love had the ball. We knew it was about to happen. We knew it. And it happened, and I hope Jerry Jones wakes up because yeah. That's pretty much all I got to say about that. I mean,
It's house money. The Packers were playing with house money. And I think we talked about in the last episode. They were not supposed to be here. They were not supposed to be in the playoffs. They had to go on a run to get there. But I will say this: give credit where credit is due. Stars are born in the playoffs. It does not matter what you do in the regular season.
No,
it does not matter. I don't care what you do in that's training camp. I don't care what you do in September, October, November. Who are you in December? And who are you when the lights shine the brightest? Dak Prescott has shown the Cowboys.
Well, we know who he is. We know who he is. We know who he is when he comes to the playoffs. He's not going to change. It was the same thing with Romo. He's not going to change. He's not going to change.
I will say though, the coaching staff looked completely out of whack.
What is Mike McCarthy doing with 4 minutes left in the game? We're down by 24, running a running back. Jeez, I almost cursed there. A running back draw. And we're losing by 24 points. Why are we trying to establish the run? Tony Pollard only had 15 carries, which that's not enough to establish the run. We just abandoned it completely.
Well, you have to abandon it when you go down 27-0 at halftime.
Yeah, that was sad. That was sad. And we scored a touchdown on a false start.
But you got to give credit where credit is due. Jordan Love.
He balled out, man.
I knew he was good. You know, I think a lot of announcers, a lot of sports personalities were like, he's a game manager. The guy has shown you his weaknesses. There's film on him now. Colin Cowherd went on a whole 15-minute rant about how the Packers missed on him. He's a bridge quarterback. You know, tip your cap to Matt LaFleur. Jordan Love.
Well, no, tip your cap to the Packers because they know how to develop quarterbacks.
Yeah.
We look at Aaron Rodgers. He sat behind Favre for multiple seasons. Now we look at Jordan Love. He sat behind Rodgers for multiple seasons. Like, that is the best blueprint to develop a quarterback in today's age. And no team does it but the Packers. Yeah. And look at the success they had. In last, over 20 years, they've only had 3 quarterbacks.
And they're only going to have...
And they're winning.
Yeah, they are winning. And they win when it matters. I mean, it's upsetting. The Cowboys definitely have to pivot. I don't know if that means get rid of Dak.
We have to pivot.
I don't know if that means get rid of Dak, but unless you have a better option.
It means get rid of Dak because...
Then who do you start? Trey Lance? Hold on. Who do you start? Trey Lance? Is that the option?
Okay.
Because if not, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not doing anything better with Dak boy.
Okay. Well, okay. Thanks for saying that. Because even if we don't, we need to see what we have in him. We need to give him the opportunity. If he sucks, fine. We get a draft pick. If he's good, then we know we have something. But Jerry Jones traded for him. So the thing is, let's see what we have. If it's good or bad, let's see if he's good or not. That's all we need to figure out. Because we traded for him, and clearly the Niners saw potential in him to trade up in the draft to get him at number 3, where they could have gotten him at 15.
Yeah, but his ability to process information is sus.
But if he gets an opportunity, he's only played 8 NFL games.
He broke his ankle.
I mean, and I don't think that affects him because it's not like an ACL or a reconstruction on the knee. But that's an injury you can come back from.
The offense was anemic. The offense was not moving. When he was starting, the offense was stale. Brock Purdy quarterbacks, I'm sorry, man. It all comes down to your ability to play good in big games and to process information. Dak, for some god-awful reason, cannot process information when he's stressed.
Well, he can again. Yeah, and when he's stressed.
He can't do it.
I saw his lights were in his eyes were staring in the lights. He was stuck up there. He was stargazing. He was looking at the twinkle lights during the playoffs, mid-game.
Too much pressure.
It's way too much pressure.
For him specifically, I don't blame a lot of all of it on Dak, but I will say this. The defense didn't show up at all whatsoever.
No, that was the thing that surprised me the most, honestly.
Micah's overrated. I will say that.
But I don't think it was that though. I don't think he's overrated. I think the scheme and the game plan was terrible because he wasn't even rushing the passer half the time. We had him in coverage. Why is he in coverage? That's not where he is one of the best players in the game.
But he's not. But he chose in the biggest game of his career, right? Because we can admit.
But he didn't choose to do that. That was Dan Quinn.
But the biggest game of his career, right, is what? Your next playoff game. We can admit that. That is the biggest game of your career.
Yeah.
In the biggest game up to date in his career, he didn't play well.
No.
Regardless of scheme or not, regardless on Dan Quinn putting him in positions that probably weren't.
But that was our defense. We didn't have any sacks.
No, but I think a lot of players fell short, but it doesn't help when your quarterback is giving the team points.
And here's one thing. It doesn't help when we don't have linebackers that are big. No, our linebackers are so tiny. They're so tiny. We can't make tackles. Aaron Jones was carving us up.
If you let Trey Lance go, you let him go, you see what you have. But this year,
we just need to start fresh.
You got the division handed to you. And that's, I think, the most disappointing thing. The division got handed to you. And in reality,
we didn't deserve to win the division.
No, but both teams are sinking ships. And we'll get on the Eagles here in a little bit. But both teams are sinking ships. But the Cowboys had a really good opportunity to position themselves to have a home game this week. Obviously, that didn't happen. I know. But
So annoying.
overall, you have your answer. Dak's not going to play in big games like that.
We've been having our answer. I
But
said this last year.
But you wait every year to
It's Jerry Jones because he thinks he can actually manage this team. He's only won 5 playoff games in 30 years. He's 5-13 in the postseason since Jimmy Johnson left. You're telling me that it's just Dak? No, it starts from him. It starts with him. And then it trickles all the way down. He's the problem. And I'm sorry, like, you're never going to see a drastic change in the Cowboys until he is no longer the owner. That's the harsh reality.
Or because that team's just get handed down to the last name of the Jones. It's more.
Yeah, but
he needs to stop.
Steven listens to Jerry, and Steven is the general manager.
Yes,
but
it's Jerry.
Everything Steven does, he runs by Jerry. That's the problem. So he's really not the general manager.
It's just a figurehead position at that point.
It's ridiculous.
We'll move topics here. But obviously I know how you feel about those boys, man. So obviously we knew the Bills were going to beat up on the Steelers. I don't think anyone thought Mason Rudolph was going to have the game.
Did you see George Pickens was saying like it's hard to beat the Bills when you're fighting the refs?
Give me a minute. Give me on George Pickens.
He fumbled it twice.
Well, not even that. I can't. You come out of Georgia and you are one of the most talented receivers in the league. There's no arguing that.
Yeah,
Route running, speed, ball skills, catching, but character-wise, bro, I trade him. That is a locker room cancer. Does not block the ball or does not pass block well enough for his running backs. Quite frankly, I know receivers are divas, but like, dude, if you have nothing good to say to the media, just don't say anything.
Yeah,
just avoid the media.
That's what Mike Tomlin did. Someone asked him about his contract next year, and he just left the podium. I mean, why would the media ask him that question?
Mike Tomlin is one of the most glorified head coaches for getting above 500. It's like praising Jerry for winning 12 games, or not Jerry, but praising Mike McCarthy for winning 12 games every season and getting bounced out in the first round. As a fan, I'd much rather be in the Buccaneer-Houston situation where I have 9 wins, but guess what? I'm playing in the divisional round.
No, and Houston is the best team in Texas.
Houston?
Yeah.
And the best team in Texas?
Yeah.
Right, obviously this year. This year, 100%.
Yeah. So sad.
So sad. All right, we'll switch off.
It makes me want to get a tissue because, you
gotta let it go, bro. You guys are going to have a good year next year.
And then we're going to lose.
That's fair. All right, so we knew the Bills were gonna take that game, and they're going.
I'm intrigued about the divisional round where the Bills take on the Chiefs again, but it's in Buffalo.
I would be worried. And before we get to that, hold on. You went on your rant about the Cowboys. I want every Dolphin fan to listen and listen well, and listen well. If I continue to go on the fandom Facebook page, and I'm going on the Instagram groups and doing all these things about supporting Tua. Why are we supporting Tua? Respectfully, this is a production-based league. And do not give me that he led the league in passing yards when Sam Howell led that statistic halfway through the year. Somebody please explain to me who cares about leading the league in passing yards. What do you do when the lights shine the brightest? I'm sick of it, man. I didn't watch that game. 26-9. The Chiefs are the most gettable they've ever had. Taylor Swift has brought more publicity to the Chiefs this year than the way the Chiefs have played. And that's a fact. They were gettable. And Tua goes out there, injuries. Every team going into the playoffs limps into the playoffs. I don't want to hear injuries. I don't want to hear it. I don't. Big-time players make big-time plays. Jordan Love played his first postseason game in his career and dropped 3 tutties against a better defense. Okay? And we're talking about contract extensions for Tua? Are you kidding me, bro? Are we talking contract extensions? Tua should not make more than Jordan Love. Tua should not make more than CJ Stroud. Tua should not make more than Baker Mayfield. You guys, as Dolphin fans, I'm going to speak strictly for myself, okay? Just for myself. I'm not saying this is a shared perspective. Great organizations move off the problem. If you want to settle, and you feel my pain for a 12, 11 game win season to get bounced in the first round, you're not a real fan. You're not a real fan.
Yeah.
You're not. You're not a real fan.
Yeah.
And you could speak to that. You're not a real fan at that point. You're not. I'm sorry. You're not.
Like, what? How can you like sit there and like accept mediocrity? Like,
it's about the ball
in the playoffs. Like, I mean, it's put up or shut up.
Absolutely.
And the whole thing is, you got to have a quarterback that can be the catalyst of you winning. And from that Chiefs game I watched, personally, I thought Tua was playing scared. He was not confident in the pocket. He was also throwing the ball too quickly, in my opinion, like throwing it to the running back as the first read. I mean, that's your last read. Like, that's when you have nothing else. And the other thing is, like, I just think Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, those guys are too good of receivers to have their games just limited to curls, slants, no vertical routes whatsoever. I did not see one.
Jack, why not though?
Because he can't throw it.
Why can't he not throw it?
Tua can't throw it. I saw in the Chiefs game, he was now. He did make one throw where he overthrew the guy, but like that was just a god-awful throw. So like you can't really say anything about that. But that's the first. I looked at the TV screen. I was like, that's the first time I've ever seen that.
I can't stand it. I can't stand it because here's the difference between the guys we're talking about to Tua, right? The Texans receivers benefit from a quarterback like CJ Stroud.
Yeah, 100%.
The Packers receivers
benefit from Jordan Love.
From a quarterback like Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Tua benefits from having the fastest receivers in the league, not the other way around. I can throw the velocity on that ball, bro. It's like I'm watching a middle-aged men's softball league. It's an underthrown pitch. It's an underthrow. It really is.
Yeah.
There's no excuses. I don't care about injuries. I don't care about keep players out. You could have the best defense in the league and 7 points isn't going to get it done. It's not.
Yeah, it's not. And it's funny because Tyreek Hill was the only one who scored in that game.
Off
so
a
like
booty pass that was behind him. Oh, what was that? Oh, Yak. Oh, that was Yak. Oh, by the way, for you casuals, Yak is why Tua's leading the league.
Yak is yards after catch.
Yes, but also that's why the number. I've been saying it all year. The numbers are inflated, but I'm good off the Tua thing. But if you pay that man, I will not talk about the Dolphins ever again. If you pay that man, you will be making a colossal mistake.
Yeah, and it's yeah. I mean, I just don't know how you can keep a guy around if he's not really the answer. I mean, Tua's had less playoff games than Dak Prescott, but I mean, we know both of those guys are not. They're not producing. They're not getting it done. They don't make their team better. Like at the end of the day, you need players and quarterbacks specifically like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, which let's get into that matchup. Because I love that matchup so much to the point where I think it could be, no, not could be, but it's going to be a legacy game for Josh Allen specifically. I'm
worried. So the Bills are the hottest team in football if we're just basing it upon analytics. So the hottest team in football, they've won 7 games in a row. So I don't think anyone's hotter than maybe the Ravens. You can make the argument for the Ravens, but in terms of what they had to do to win the division and to get to where they're at now, hottest team in football.
Yeah.
What concerns me and what I will caution Bills fans and I will caution the league, Patrick Mahomes had a confidence game. Up until that point, you did not see Mahomes. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's all his fault. You know, we talk about MVS. Kelsey's not the same anymore. So the team's a shell of itself.
Yeah, Kelsey had a couple like uncharacteristic drops in that game, which like were kind of alarming to me because he was wide open and he just dropped it.
But I would say this. I'm not going to bet against Mahomes, but the Bills, it's hard for me not to pick them just because it just feels like their year. Like the journey and how they got there, it feels like their year.
Yeah.
And now 2 seed, weather's not, both teams playing cold weather.
Yeah, weather's not going to matter.
But I will say this. the Chiefs have a hard time, just like everyone else in the league, they're going to have a hard time taking down Josh Allen. Josh Allen is, I mean, you can't tackle him. You can't press the box, so you're playing safety high every game, which is a risk. Yeah. That is a risk. So you can't. It's pick your poison with Josh Allen, but also to the same token, it's also pick your poison with Mahomes if he's on.
Yeah.
If he's on. So
which he in the playoffs he turns on.
He does.
He turns on in the playoffs.
But this is the first time in his postseason career he's not paying Arrowhead.
Yeah, and he's on the road.
On the road.
Which I think that could bring out a different Mahomes, but because I mean the great ones show up on the road. I mean they love it. We saw it with Brady when he was on the road for playoff games.
Yeah, man. Like, so it should be an outstanding game. I'm going to stick with my pick and go to the Bills. Yeah, but I'm not saying that because I think Mahomes can't do it.
Mahomes definitely can do it.
Mahomes, brother.
He's more than capable. He's more than capable.
You're him. You know what I mean? I'm just going, oh my God. I'm just going, oh my God.
He definitely is. Yeah. And for as much as I don't really like him, I mean, you can't ignore the talent. You can't ignore he's not the best player in the league. You can't ignore those things.
But Buffalo has a better team, period.
Yeah, they're just more complete. Which, like, one thing that I think that's going to be a big key is the run game, especially like on both sides. Like, who can run the football better? Like, is it going to be Pacheco and that Chiefs running attack, or is it going to be James Cook, Fournette on that Bills attack? I wonder who's going to run better.
Both teams have good rush defenses, so that's what's kind of like, in my opinion, that's what makes the matchup so intriguing, because I don't think it's going to come down to the run game because both teams have good run defenses. I think the Bills' run defense is a little bit more gettable than the Chiefs because, bro, the Chiefs, you know, besides Tua, right? The Dolphins rushing attack statistically was the best in the league. Nada. Didn't have it.
Yeah.
They didn't bring it. So that showed me the Chiefs can stop the run. The Bills, on the other hand, Najee, you know, even though the score didn't show it, Najee gave him a run for his money. Harris for the Steelers, he ran a lot.
Yeah.
So we'll see, man. I would like, it's gonna be the best. I think I'll go on a limb and say it's gonna be the best matchup in the divisional round.
Yeah, because it's I mean, I think the all-time series, I think Mahomes and Allen are tied at 3 games apiece, including playoffs. Mahomes got him twice in the playoffs, so it'll be interesting to see what Josh Allen does. Let's get into this. Well, you mentioned Baker Mayfield. I was happy that they beat the Eagles last night because goodness gracious,
beat them. That's doing
32-9.
Yeah, that was bad. That's an A whooping, is what we like to call it out on the streets.
And Baker showed up, man. He threw for over 370. He threw for over 370, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. I mean, and dude, Rachaad White, that running game. I mean, they were the worst team in the league at rushing the football, but not after I saw last night. I mean, Rachaad White is good. He's a good player. So it's a dangerous team.
Absolutely, and they're playing they're 6-1, entering the playoffs.
Yeah, they're playing the Lions, which
here's my take. First off, Baker's the humility on him now. He's a different man. I feel like he's learned a lot from his experiences, so he's not going to say it. So Baker, I'm going to say it for you, brother. We've all kept receipts. All of us. Colin Coward called for your retirement at the beginning of the year. Rex Ryan called you overrated 3 years ago. Said you'd never be a star quarterback in this league. Man threw for 3 Benjis and 3 tutties. Yeah. 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
In a playoff game.
Cleveland Browns. You're the worst organization in football. I'm going to say it. Worst organization in football.
They drafted him number 1, too.
Look at when we do this, we're going to have the graphic up here. Show me Deshaun Watson's numbers from when he's been with the Browns and go look at Baker. They did Baker so dirty, bro.
Let alone the numbers, just games played. Where has Watson been?
Worst contract in football.
Where has he been? He's never on the field.
Point being, I'm so proud of that man. Like, not that it matters. Like, I'm a grown man saying I'm proud of another grown man.
He's just got an interesting story. I mean, he was a walk-on in college. Earned his full ride scholarship at Oklahoma. What was he at? Is he at Texas Tech before Oklahoma?
T-Tech, went to Oklahoma, won the Heisman.
He was a walk-on.
Won the Heisman.
And then he won the Heisman, and then he goes number 1. Which I didn't think he was going to go number 1 when he did. But kudos to him. He stepped in, to a tough situation in Cleveland, played about as well as he could have, won their first playoff game in many years. So, I mean, you got to give him credit, and I hate that they dismiss it. And I thought when he got dumped out of Cleveland, I thought that was a dirty move by the Browns. It was so dirty because they just disrespected a guy who won a playoff game for them, and it's been a long time for that franchise. And Baker that was his first run at the playoffs, so like it's not like he's done it before.
And they almost beat the Chiefs the week after. They were one possession away from beating the Chiefs.
The only reason they offensively didn't play as well is because Baker was just so injured,
torn labrum.
Yeah,
in his shoulder.
I mean,
and he went out there and still played for you, though.
And last night he was injured too.
Ankle. No, it bothers me because it's like the Browns. You used him as a scapegoat. You used him as a scapegoat for why the team wasn't performing, but he won you your first playoff game since Bill Belichick in 30 years in Pittsburgh. By the way, it wasn't like it was some random lollipop team. He beat your division rival. He went into Heinz Field and said, "Hey Ben, bye, have fun in retirement." That's what he did. And so to see him go out there last night, and I've been a Baker guy, and everyone's always like, "Okay, listen, I don't care what the regular season record was.
Yeah,
in the playoffs." And I could be not accurate. 10 touchdowns, 1 interception in 3 games.
Yeah.
10 touchdowns,
that's not bad.
1 interception in 3 games.
It's really not bad.
That's a gamer.
What's he won? 2 games?
Yeah, he's 2-1. That's a gamer.
It's not bad. He's got a better playoff record than Dak Prescott.
Better. Oh, and that was another thing. Baker.
He tied Baker with he tied Dak with Prescott in playoff wins.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm going to pick them, and back into our original pointer, I picked them beating the Lions.
Man.
I think, because here's my thing with teams that play each other.
I don't know about that.
Well, hear me out here.
I don't know about that, though.
Teams
Lions are hungry.
They're hungry. They should have lost to the Rams. Stop it. They're hungry.
Okay, the Rams are a good team, though. We're glad you brought that up because, by the way, let's give this guy some credit.
I know where you're
Puka Nacua, man. Holy crap. This guy cannot be tackled. He can't. He's elite.
Elite route running.
5th round pick, 177th overall. Steal the draft.
100%.
And it's crazy what he's doing. He's not that fast, but he gets open. His route combinations, dude, are just so smooth. So smooth.
Broke the rookie record in receiving for in a playoff game. Buck 86.
Yeah.
No, and they were a couple possessions away from winning that game. And Statty. You know, obviously the Lions won. Statty went in there and balled out. Now.
Oh my goodness!
Let's not act like he didn't just go in there and shred that secondary.
Yeah, he showed up and he did what he did best. I mean, he was slinging it.
They need to move off Cooper, and I say that with respect. He's not the same receiver. He is hurt. He is hurt,
I mean,
brother.
at this moment, during the playoff game,
he was
hurt. He was hurt, but I don't know if you can't move off Cooper Kupp.
I mean,
can't do it.
The production drop off though is night and day, dude. It really is.
It is, but it's because of his injuries, which I think he can get. I think he can get a handle of it.
I don't, because it looks like Stafford. I mean, bro. And this is no disrespect to Nacua, but when a rookie receiver is getting most of the targets, there's something wrong. And I'm just saying, like, the man went from Super Bowl MVP, was it 2,000 all-purpose yards, and then all of a sudden, he's not getting targeted. Like, and I know him and Matthew are bros. Like, they have a good relationship. I don't think he can cut well out of his break. I don't think he knows.
Not right now, no. I mean, and like hamstring injuries for any receiver are kind of tough because that's a lot of your explosiveness kind of going out the window. So like, he can't cut like he used to. But I think he just needs an off season to get back.
And I feel bad for him. He got a ring though, so I mean, like, it doesn't matter. But I also think too, at his size, he never was. And you know, with hamstring injuries, you play basketball. When in other sports, obviously, that was so corny. Oh, you play basketball.
Well, basketball's pretty relatable.
When you mess up your hamstring, that agility, that extra agility that you don't have,
well, the ability to come off the line quickly is kind of gone.
It's gone. And when you don't, he was already lacking speed already.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that, like in the game, like he was still like he wasn't getting open as much as he usually did. Like in the red zone, dude. Like they were going to him a couple times. He was getting clamped. And the problem is, what worries me is that the Lions secondary is mid. Like they're not even like
Name one guy other than Gardner Johnson, where you go, oh, that's a really good DB. They don't really have
Joseph.
Yeah, but they don't have great DB. So if Cup's having a hard time in their secondary in terms of defensive efficiency.
Well, here's the thing. I think the Lions have enough offense. That's the thing. I think they have enough offense. Jared Goff, he's proven himself
great revenge game
to be the guy in Detroit for a long time. Amon-Ra St. Brown, that dude is no one to mess around with. And then Sam Laporta, I mean, he played. And he was hurt, but he still made his same impact. So I look at him and I'm like, I mean, they got the weapons. They also got Montgomery and Gibbs in the backfield, which, like, if you guys can't tell, I'm a huge, like, run game person. Because, like, the run game is just play action. You can get so much deep shots going.
There's so much action you get off that.
Yeah, there's a lot. Because if you can't get your run game going, you're kind of toast. And
you're forcing the defense to play a safety high when they have to stack the box. And I don't think a lot of casual fans understand this. And this is why, and we were talking about this earlier, why Lamar gets all these easy reads. It took Lamar, 4 to 3 years to really identify passing lanes for man coverage, right? Yep. Why does he see that? Why are all these coverages tight? Because they can't play a dime nickel on a guy that can take off. They gotta
have a spy there.
They have to have a spy. So you stack the box.
The spy is such a liability, and like that's a game I was going to bring up. Ravens Texans, dude. That is a game I could see going to the Texans. Not gonna lie.
When you get to the playoffs,
I can see it happening.
The regular season doesn't matter. I don't care what team the Texans were 3 weeks ago. I don't care what team the Ravens were.
They're dangerous now.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Wake up! Like I'm a. You know what? I know I said the Ravens were going to win this game in the last pod, but I'm going to say the Texans are going to upset them.
Okay.
I'm going to say that right now. The way CJ Stroud is playing, I think he can dice up this Ravens secondary. And I think Lamar Jackson, with his playoff struggles, with his only one playoff win, I think he might crumble under the pressure, man. I think he might. I think he very well might. And this Houston secondary, man.
Oh, they're icy.
They're good.
Yeah.
They're good. And here's the reason. I think the Browns defense is better than the Ravens. And CJ Stroud made that look like easy money. Easy money. They were the best defense statistically all season. And CJ Stroud came in there and said, you guys are the worst defense in the NFL. I'm going to throw wherever I want on y'all.
He single-handedly sent Joe Flacco back to the
I'm taking the Texans. I know it's crazy. I know it's a little hot. But I'm just saying, dude, like the Texans... I mean, you got to at least see where I'm coming from.
I do, and I understand the take is definitely backed up by data. But I will say, it's going to be trouble in Baltimore if Lamar doesn't win this game after you paid him that money, and he's going to win the MVP. Obviously, the mainstream narrative is he's going to win the MVP. But again, this is what I caution, and this is where I could see your take being true. If Lamar has to play from behind. And they cannot run the ball. This is the problem with Lamar, and you've seen it in the past. Same thing with the Titans game, that playoff game, 2019, 4 years ago. When you play from behind, you are no longer looking at a 3-4-4-3. You're looking at a dime. You're looking at a nickel. You have to now become an actual pocket passer. None of this man coverage and pocket passing.
I think against the Texans, I think he's going to be forced to do that.
I think so too.
And that's going to be trouble.
Oh my God, you're convincing me, bro. Stop. You are
a
virus, bro.
And here's the thing.
You are a virus.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, right? Rookie quarterbacks in the playoffs, when they win, are dangerous.
No,
they don't have a lot of film.
It's house money. It's house money. He's not supposed to be there. He's supposed to be at home. And he's not at home in his rookie year. Forget a fifth-year option. The man's about to get the bag. He's about to wake up. If they beat the Ravens, bro, hey, we're talking 6-year 210 with a brand new Rolly. I mean, I'm taking the Ravens, though, because I don't know. It's just, I don't want to live in a world where, Lamar really fumbles the bag again. That would be catastrophic.
Hey, don't be surprised if it happens.
All right.
Don't be.
So you got the Texans. I got the Ravens.
Yeah, okay, I got the Texans, which honestly, coming on here, I really didn't expect to go that direction. But the more and more and more and more I've thought about it, I mean, kind of the points I just said. I mean, how can you not at least think they have a chance?
So you got Texans,
Texans, Bills, AFC Championship game. I'm calling that right now. I think that's going to happen.
Are we going to dismiss the Packers against the Niners? Or are we just going to come to the consensus that the Niners will be the Packers?
I mean,
Is that the share
the Niners should win, but if they don't, man.
If they don't, Jordan's getting the bag. If they don't, Jordan's not.
Do you think a Lions-Packers NFC Championship game is possible?
From a non-fan bias, just like looking at the teams, something catastrophic would have to happen to the Niners for them to lose that game.
Yeah, I agree.
Something catastrophic, like George Kittle's going to have to like tear his hamstring.
Yeah, he's going to have to.
And then Trent Williams would have to go down. Like a lot of things would have to happen for me. Do I think it would be close? Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it would be close.
I think the Packers will give him a game.
Yeah.
But I mean, now it's just like I look at Jordan Love and I'm like, now he's got his confidence. So it's like, what is he going to do with that?
Not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be at the crib. So we'll see. I'll go Niners, Buccaneers, NFC Championship game, and then I'm absolutely gonna go Baltimore and Buffalo.
Yeah,
those are my picks. I want to get to a topic though because I wanted to talk about it with you. Bill Belichick interviewing for the Falcons job. I'm gonna say this respectfully, bro. Do not go there. Like, there is no pieces there for him to go. I think the situation in New England's better than Atlanta, personnel wise.
I honestly like. Why are we talking about that?
Well, I'm just saying. He interviewed with the Falcons.
I know.
It has to get brought up.
I know.
It's a thing people want to talk about. Like,
I know. Stupid. I mean,
is that just like a warm-up interview? Like, is that what that is? Like, there's no way he's taking that job.
One word. Stupid. If he goes to Atlanta, I mean, clearly doesn't want to win. I mean, who's the quarterback there? No
quarterbacks. Quarterbacks, bro.
Who's the quarterback there? I'm waiting for an answer. Who's the quarterback in Atlanta? Okay, exactly. We got our answer. Nobody. So here's the thing. Plain and simple. Bill Belichick's coming to the Cowboys. That's going to happen. 100%. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. I know people hate it.
All operations, Bill will go. Bill will not go and play second fiddle to a guy who hasn't won anything since
Here's the thing. I would say that, but Jerry's got no choice. He has to play second fiddle now. If you don't want to play second fiddle, sell the team. Just sell them. Because you clearly don't want to win that bad if you're not willing to do what it takes to win. That's the whole point of this, right?
They still haven't fired.
To win a Super Bowl.
They still haven't fired Mike, and it's been.
You know what Michael Irvin said on Twitter? He said, "Get rid of everybody. Get rid of everybody."
That's a little bit of an over-exaggeration.
But if you're not living up to the standard of the Cowboys, which is pretty high. Like in the 90s, we were arguably one of the best teams in the league, won 3 Super Bowls.
You were the team in the 90s.
And, I would be open to a complete rebuild at this point. I would. I'd be open to complete rebuild.
Get rid of Diggs.
Get rid of Micah. Get rid of CD. Everybody. Just trade everyone. Start from scratch because this is clearly not working. We've been trying this with Dak. Oh, let's see if we can get one more piece. No. We are not just one piece away. We are multiple pieces. We're two linebackers away. We are 2 safeties away. Probably another corner. Like Stephon Gilmore was getting burned. He is garbage. He was getting burned. He was getting lost in man coverage.
He's garbage.
And then don't get me started on Donovan Wilson. Don't get me started on him. He needs to be out the door. There's no reason for us to be settling for garbage. Settling.
That's fair.
12 games we won this year. 12. We won our division.
By default.
And we lose to the Packers. The Packers.
Great organization.
The fans who wear cheese heads. That's who we lost to.
Story of my life.
That's who we lost to. All right, dude. This has been a pretty wild pod. A lot of interesting, angry tangents that we did go on about our respective teams, which, understandable. I mean, how can we not go? Can you guys really blame us for going on tangents like this? I don't think so.
I mean, if you had Tua and Dak as your quarterbacks, you'd feel our pain. I mean, what conversation are we having here? They're awful.
Yeah.
Get rid of them.
Yeah. ASAP. I believe that.
Or the CFL's hiring. Or is it the XFL?
It's the UFL.
Whoever it is,
because the United States Football League and the XFL converged.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying that during the game.
Get them out of here. I'm off to it. I'll tell you that.
100%. I'm off Dak. We're off the pod. This has been Skyler Blaine on the podcast once again. Dude, it's been an honor having you on these last couple times. It's been fun. I'm your host, Jackson Burleson. Appreciate you guys listening to another episode of the Take Podcast. Take care.
Don't play with the take, baby.
Talk to me, baby. Talk to me nice. I'm from another world, baby, yeah. Right way paradise. They think I'm way too cold, cause I put my heart up.